I'm Dr. Jacqueline DuPont, and I'm speaking today about falls in the elderly. Falls in the elderly are so common that literally 50% of older adults do fall, especially if they've been admitted to an institution. They have a higher fall risk to assisted living or skilled nursing. And it's gotten to where the CDC and many other organizations are looking at the falls and how much they cost Americans annually. And to Medicare, Medicaid, and private pay, it's costing over $50 billion, which is a huge amount. So it's not all about the money with falls. Falls are very expensive, but it's also about the personal tragedy of a fall. You know, the fact that someone may not become independent after a fall, may actually becoming independent and then fall. We don't know which occurs first. However, just the dignity issue of the fall itself, the pain, maybe some suffering, the fear, of course, of being alone or being on the ground too long, of no one coming. I mean, it really is difficult on an older adult who's fallen. They may have some depression after it and need to talk about that. However, when we look at this big issue of falls, this macro issue, we have to look at some micro issues too. For example, if you're caring for your loved one at home and your caregiver goes to the restroom, could your older adult fall? Yes, everyone's a fall risk. When people ask me, who's a fall risk? Well, I wouldn't even make a list. In memory care, everyone's a fall risk due to the sheer fact that they have memory loss, because that alone can cause a fall. And there are higher incidents of falls in older adults with memory loss. So what else can cause a fall? A lot of times there are environmental extrinsic factors such as flooring, rugs. We all have read about those, but they still are critical. One thing that doesn't get enough attention is lighting, and lighting really needs to not be forgotten. Bright lights are so important to older adults, and we do see a lot of falls at night, so having a night light is critical. Having just even maybe an automatic light that goes on in the bathroom if the older adult forgets, you know, to go into the bathroom and turn on the light, maybe there's a motion detector light they could install. To look at the vast literature and do a real comprehensive literature review is taxing on falls. I had just done one. However, I did find that one area was the incident reporting of falls and how that really hasn't gotten enough attention. Incident reporting is required in memory care and assisted livings, but you find in the literature that people incident report differently. Some write it in a chart, some keep a log, some put a fall in a separate incident report. But why is it important? It's important because trending is important. So when you're managing a memory care or managing in general your older adult's health, even if you just have one person at home, trends are important. When do you see that fall? For example, if you have a memory care, when are most of your falls occurring? Those types of trends need to be looked at. So having an organized fashion in which you look at incident reports, and hopefully you're using incident reports, is critical. And I would say fall meetings, and I wouldn't call it prevention because we never can prevent a fall. However, just attention. Those attention fall meetings every month need to happen. And teams need to get together and analyze, why are we having more falls at, let's say, change of shift? There is data out there showing a couple wonderful studies where they analyzed what time were falls occurring in assisted living. And the most often was 2 to 4 p.m. Well, is it happening in your building? Is it happening in my building? Those kind of issues need to be looked at. If during change of shift, people are scattered, then maybe we need to add a caregiver in a certain area and kind of put people who we know could fall or have fallen in the past in that area to watch. So, and that brings up another point. Common area grouping is critical to falls. And why? Because that's where we're looking at everyone. So if there's a common living room, a pub, a movie theater, wherever you feel would be the safest spot, and a viewing spot, of course, where employees can see, that's really critical. And a lot of times older adults are left in their room too long, and that can also increase falls. So another issue I wanted to point out was the Safely You camera monitoring system and how it's helped us here, because I've had it installed now for a couple weeks. In Irvine Cottage, I've always had the cameras turned on, so falls have been watched very closely and do get attended to quickly. However, here, this new software system literally is helping us respond to a fall within seconds. The other day, it emailed me, it texted me. I ran to look if the resident was okay in the room. She literally had 3 people in front of me. So literally the nurse came before me, and I was pretty quick. But because we're all being alarmed so quickly, no one is left on the floor with the Safely Used software. And I feel like this camera monitoring in the bedroom especially is so critical that A, an older adult's not left on the floor for long periods of time. B, it picks up algorithms such as movement when they're starting to fall, so you can go quite quickly. And C, it's giving us feedback on how maybe a transfer is occurring, issues such as that. And I just can't say enough positives about the Safely Used software. Not only that, they have an occupational therapist giving me feedback, and I'm reading it, and it is so helpful. Move that table, move the bed, please place the resident in the middle of the bed so she doesn't roll off, all kinds of great tips. So I'm very thankful to Safely You, and that's my pretty much updated report on it. The cameras in the bedroom have been turned on for about a month here, and honestly, it's been so positive. The family feedback and the resident feedback's been very positive. However, we are giving people a choice whether or not they want the Safely You monitoring in their bedroom. So some have opted out, but most have opted in. Just in fact, the safety measure is just so critical, and just knowing the peace of mind that if something did happen in the bedroom, how could we figure out what did happen because of the reporting. So we are really thankful for the cameras being turned on in the bedroom, but really if someone doesn't want it, we're respectful of that too. So there's always a choice. Report on it. If you have any questions about how we're using the cameras in the bedroom, please feel free to email me at any time. But thank you for tuning in on my report on falls, and if you have any suggestions or questions, I'd love to hear from you.